Hey guys, in today's video, I have created this sort of Boogie Nights Roller Girl look using the Morphe 35H Hot Spot palette. This is the palette that I am giving away today. So if you want to watch me create this look and see how you can win this palette, stick around and let's do some makeup. All right, getting started with today's video, we're going to go ahead and open up the Morphe 35H Hot Spot palette. This is for our giveaway today. All right, got the palette. We're going to go ahead and open it up. These are all the beautiful colors that you get in this palette. And then this is the little cover that comes with it that tells you what all the colors are. My recommendation, which is what I do, is put that on the top here and then tape it down. And then that way you always have a guide as to which colors you're going to be using. So I'm going to go ahead and do that with my palette right now, and I will be right back. All right, I am back. I have taken my sheet here that tells me what all the colors are down here and then just taped it up to the top here. So I haven't decided what kind of look I want to go for today, but I really feel like the blues and the teals are calling to me. So I think we're going to live today is kind of like in these colors right in through here. I'm also really liking the reds, but I think we'll just do a separate red another time. And since today is an eyeshadow palette giveaway, I'm just going to focus on the eyes today, and then we'll put on a little lip and some hair for the finished look. Getting right into it, let's pull out my brushes here. I always like to start with a base on the eyes, a wash, and I like to do something that I think is going to be complementary to the color that I'm using or my color palette. So if I'm doing a green, then I want my base or wash color to be a super pale green. If I'm doing blue, I want it to be a pale blue. If I'm doing red, I want it to be a pale pink. And if I'm doing like a really bright pastel color, just white, so that you don't add any extra color. You just add a really clean backdrop to those brighter pastel colors so that they don't get muted down. Because I am doing blues today, I'm going to start with this light blue guy right here. And his name is Ocean Drive. And I'm just going to pop that on all over the upper lid here. And I think I grabbed the wrong brush. I think this one actually has some color already on it, because that came out darker than I would have expected it to. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a base shadow brush and just kind of work that a little bit more into the eyelid and just kind of buff it down a little bit. And I think it'll be fine. I think it's important to remember with makeup that, you know, I mean, unless you're doing something that you've done a million times before, you're going to make mistakes. But makeup isn't about being perfect. It's just about getting it to do what you want it to do. And sometimes that can be a trick, even for someone like me who's been doing makeup and specific makeup looks for such a long time. It just happens. I think it's important to not fret and take a minute and figure out, okay, how do I evolve my look from this? So I think that'll work just fine. Now, I like to go in with my eyelid color first, and then I do my highlighter on the brow bone, and then I do my contour color, because I have found that if I'm doing my contour first, and then I put on my base shadow and my highlight, a lot of times it can muddy down the contour, and as I'm applying color up here and down here, it kind of shrinks. And the contour for me is the hardest point of the eyeshadow because it also makes the highest impact in the eyeshadow. So when I'm spending all of that time making sure to get my contour just the way that I want it to, I don't want to run the risk of mucking it up by then starting to do a bunch of shadow work around it. So that's my philosophy for the order that I do my shadows in. I'm going to go in with another base shadow brush, and we're going to go in with this guy right here, and his name is Reflection. So let's see what kind of reflection we get here. Not bad. And the blue is much more intense because we don't have the yellow undertone of our makeup underneath trying to compete with the blue color. And I think that with blues, most importantly, you don't want to put blue over like an eyeshadow primer that has tint to it, or your makeup or concealer, because those are all yellow toned products. And what happens when we mix yellow and blue? We get green. So if you want your eyeshadow to read as blue, you just have to make sure that you're not putting it on something that has yellow in it. It's like the hefty Ziploc bags. Yellow and blue make green. That's how you know it's sealed. Okay, let's move on to our brow bone. I'm going to use Cool Off, which is this really light color right here. And then I might pop a little bit of ripple effect on top of that, just so that it doesn't get too dark on the brow bone and will still actually read like a highlight. So going in with another base shadow brush, I'm going to take that Cool Off and we're just going to put it onto the brow bone here. And I don't have to worry about ruining my contour because I haven't done it yet. It's another reason why I like to do my brows at the end. Brows are really complicated, like contouring to get right. You're working with two of them. You've got to make them match. And if you take the time to create the perfect brow, you don't want to go and mess it up by putting a bunch of shadow around it and having to work that shadow in with your brush, because the lines will bleed and it'll just dull down the effect that you've created with your makeup. And then to back that up, the ripple effect, and we're not going to put this on like we did the Cool Off. We're just going to tap this around the arch and the high point of the brow, and this is just going to give the eye a little extra lift. Still using that base shadow brush. For this kind of work, when you're layering colors like this, I don't think you need to clean or grab a new brush every single time, because you're working with the same family and you're creating a color with that. And I like the way that it tends to blend. But when you switch gears and you need to start working with a different color for a different area of the eye, then you want to get a clean brush so that what you did over here doesn't compete with what you're going to do down here, which doesn't threaten the result that you've created over here, if that makes sense. So just kind of create a blueprint for your eyes and figure out, like, okay, what's my strategy? What do I feel most comfortable doing when I'm doing my eyes? Example for me, base shadow, highlight brow bone, contour, eyeliner, and lashes. And I think once you have a rhythm down and you have a flow down, you can actually just go through your makeup much more quickly because you're that much more comfortable and confident in what you're doing. And I think the eyes take the most time. Foundation takes a lot of time, but foundation's pretty standard. Like once you've got your colors and once you've got the way that you know how you want to paint your face to create the shape that you want, that's so automatic. But the eyes are different every time, and it gives you the opportunity to play with more and varied colors. And I'd like to take the time and enjoy that process. So I leave the focus of my work for the eyes. If that makes sense? That felt kind of long-winded, but I thought I'd give you guys a little bit more information with what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. Because once you know why you're doing something, you're going to be that much more powerful in using it. All right, so let's start with the contour. And I think I'm going to go in with this really bold blue. We can't do a blue eye with this palette and not go into this guy right here. And that is Singled Out. For Singled Out, I'm going to use my Instapop crease brush from Real Techniques. And we're going to go right into that Singled Out. And this is going to be our contour color. And then we're going to have a separate color that's a little bit darker to play up the outside corners and emphasize elongating the eye. And it's important, if you guys can see this the way that I'm doing it, I'm actually applying it from the crease up. I'm not going anywhere below the crease because we're kind of creating a new false socket where it makes the eye look bigger. If you take your contour down too low, it'll block it off and start to look a little bit more like a smoky eye, because the base shadow, when your eye opens, will fold up into the crease area and you'll lose all that work. So you want to make sure that when your eyes are open, you can still see the shadow underneath to create that three-dimensional layered effect. So you place your darker contour color slightly higher than your natural crease, and that helps keep the eye bright, wide, and open. And we're just going to repeat that on the other side. And I'm not really editing out today. Normally I do just one eye and I let you guys see it. And I've kind of gotten into this habit where I speed up my videos, whether intentionally or just through cutting, because I feel like, oh, you guys just, you know, attention spans I worry about on YouTube. And I think if my video is too long, then no one's going to want to watch it. So then I kind of started this like format of condensing the information, but I thought instead of doing full face looks, I'll just concentrate on one specific area, and then that way I can give you more information about it without having to increase the overall length of the video. So if that's something that you guys want to see more of, let me know in the comments downstairs, and I'll create more videos like this that are centrally focused on one area. And a lot of palettes. I'm also going to pick up the pace for the palettes. I'm going to be doing a giveaway once every week. So make sure to keep tuning in, hit that notification bell so you can get notified every time I upload a new video, because chances are 50% of the time over the next 5 weeks is going to be a giveaway. And I've got huge Morphe palettes. I have a stack of palettes back there, and I'm really excited to play with them, show you the looks that I create with them, and then share them with you guys so you can show me what you create with them. So let's work on the outside corners of the eyes now. For that, I'm going to go in with Real Deal. And now this is starting to get a little denim-y looking, but I like that. And then I think I'm probably going to mix it with a little bit of chillax down here, just to really create some dimension on the outside corner so that that's where the attention goes to. And then it makes my eyes look longer and a little bit more uplifted. Since this is more of a detailed area that we're working with, I'm moving down a brush size, and this is the Instapop. This is the Instapop crease brush. So sorry. The one I was using before is the Instapop shade brush. It's larger, so it's better at packing on more color in a larger area. This is a little bit more of a defined brush. So we're going to start in with the Real Deal, and this is going to go on the outside corner. And then we're just going to bring it in just a little bit, really making sure that we concentrate most of the product application on the lower half of the outside corner, and then just blending it up into where we laid down the singled out color. And don't bring it up to the brow bone, because what we're gonna do, we don't need the color up there. What we're gonna do is we're gonna blend it. So I'm going to take my definer brush and blend this out. And I'm not going to take it into the crease because I want to keep the color as dark as possible, because that helps to create a little bit more of a shadow so it looks more like a fold, and it creates a more natural looking crease. So we're just going to come in above that and just sort of blend and coax the color up into the brow bone color, so that there's no real definitive line. It's just this natural graduation of color as you work your way from the lashes to the brow. And then we're going to repeat that on this eye. I kind of bring it down following the line that I've already made with the first contour color, and then I just start to sweep it in towards the center of the eye. Again, focusing on the bottom half of the outside of the eye, and then slowly working it up a little bit, but not going past that first contour color, because we don't want it to get Rocky Horror Picture Show. We're going to use our definer brush, and once again, just slowly kind of blend and buff and coax that color into the brow bone color. So you get nice impact, but it just doesn't look like what we refer to as a big garage door where you're just one color from lash to brow. Let's move on to the chillax. For chillax, I'm still going to use that same Instapop crease brush. I'm just going to wipe a little bit of the Real Deal off, but I'm going darker, so it doesn't have to be too much because this color is going to overpower what little of this is still on there. But I really want this to create a little bit of drama and focus on the outside of the eye. So this one, we're not going to pull it up. We're really just going to stick in this little area right in through here. Same technique though. So from the crease, not the contour color, but from the crease down to the lashes to create that depth, and then just pull it in towards the center and don't go higher than the line that you created when you were doing this. And this creates just like a nice little backdrop for your lashes. So that when you put your lashes on, it makes the outside look even thicker and denser, which again, just pulls all the attention to the outside of the eyes, which is the trick in creating larger eyes and a more feminine face, because bone structure wise, men's eyes are closer together and women's eyes are further apart. So if you're doing this makeup as a biological woman, then you're kind of already there. But maybe you're a woman that has close set eyes, or like me, you're a man who is creating a female presenting look. And I think these little tips and tricks that we pick up along the way that help us to understand a little bit more of the anatomy of the features of the face and why we're doing what we're doing, create more successful looks. So, and let's say your eyes are really far apart and you're not comfortable with that, then you do the opposite. What you do is you can kind of do like a smoky eye and create and build up the smoke on the inside of the eye and then bring it down to the outside corner of the eye so there's not as much attention drawn to the outside of the eye. Cher does that, not with a smoky eye, but with her crease. If you notice, her crease comes down really far, or contour line comes down really far on the outside and goes really high up on the inside. When you create that drama on the inside corners of the eyes, it gives the illusion of the eyes being closer together. So it's really about balance. Speaking of balance, let's go and switch gears to the smudge liner brush and back in with that chillax, which is sort of this like glimmery, smoky charcoal color. And we're gonna line the eyelids with this. And it's not, I don't want it to be like a super blended look per se. I want it to have a little bit of a smoky feel to it, and then we'll play up the inside of the lid right in through here so that it doesn't look like a smoky eye. And I'll show you what I mean in just a second. But I want you guys to see this application from start to finish rather than edited, so that you guys see what I'm doing and you see the result, but maybe not necessarily how. So in the vein of creating a true tutorial, I just want to explain everything. So I'm taking this underneath, I'm making the line a little bit thicker on the outside of the eye and connecting it to the shadow on the top. And then just kind of working it in towards the inside, keeping it a little thinner and not closing off the eye. So where the lower lashes stop, that's where I stop my eyeshadow application. And we'll do the same thing on this eye. And then we're gonna take that definer brush that we used to blend the contour color up into the brow bone, and we're just lightly gonna smudge this color out a little bit, making sure that we connect it to what we did upstairs, bringing it down, leaving the inside of the eye open. And then we take our definer brush and we're just gonna soften that. And I'm not going up into the lashes on top of it. I'm using my brush underneath it just to get that bottom line soft and diffused while maintaining the intensity of the color at the lash line. I think that's looking pretty good. Now what I want to do is create a little bit more pop on the inside corner of the eye to really play up the illusion of a cut crease. To do that, I'm going to dip into my MAC Dazzle Shadow Liquid. This one is in Not Afraid to Sparkle. And I'm going to put that on the inside corner And then while that's still wet, I'm going to take a base shadow brush and go into Beachfront, which is this really nice sort of tealy blue sparkly color. And that'll give a lot of nice pop to the inside of the eye. And the reason why I'm using this Dazzle shadow is because it really doesn't have any color to it. It's almost like a clear gel with a multi-reflect sparkle in it. And it's not glitter, so it's easy to wash off. It doesn't get stuck everywhere, and it doesn't abrade your eyelids as you're trying to take it off. So we're going to come right into the inside corner. We're not going to take it all the way over because we don't want to destroy all this dark charcoal and blue work that we've done, just on the inside corner here. And this is kind of creating a little bit of like a false cut crease. So before that dries, we've got to go in with our brush. We're going to go into Beachfront, and we're just going to tap that on top of the Dazzle Shadow liquid. Now, if you wanted to create a real cut crease with this, which you could, you go back in with your definer smudge liner brush, go back in with the darker Real Deal color that we used on the outside corner, not the black, but that sort of like greeny charcoal, and then put a line down right between these two eyeshadow colors, and that will create a little bit more of a line for you, which gives more of the illusion of a cut crease. But I want it to be a little bit softer today. So I'm not gonna do that part. I'm just gonna create my false cut crease with this little trick here, which honestly, it is a favorite trick of mine. Not just because it's easier to do, but I also think that it's more realistic for someone that wants to really play around with makeup every day, but they don't want to look like they're ready to hit the Vegas stage or work the piers. So you get the same look, you get the same impact that a cut crease does in terms of creating a whiter, brighter eye where you don't lose all of your eye makeup when you open up your eyes, but it's just not as dramatic. So I think it's a little bit more wearable. Now I want to line the eyes, and because this is a darker palette eye, I'm going to use Smolder eye kohl pencil from MAC, and I'm going to use that for my top tight line and the bottom waterline as well. Oh, hold on, guys. I have an eyelash in my eye, and I gotta get it out. Okay, so I went and grabbed a Q-tip, and I wet it down with some water from the tap. And I think this is the best way to get an eyelash out of your eye. There it is. I don't know if you guys can see that. There it is, just on the tip of the Q-tip. So I pulled that out. I ran it under tap water. I didn't stick it in my mouth. When I watch videos online, I see a lot of drag queens doing that, and it's kind of a funny joke with them, and I get it, but you have more bacteria living in your mouth than you do in your crotch. And I don't want to be transferring that bacteria to my eyes, because your eyes are the first place that you're going to pick up some kind of germ or bacteria, because they're neutral. So there isn't anything that's like alkaline or acidic in your tears that would kill or neutralize something. So if it gets in your eyes, it's a direct port into your system. Now, digging around in your eye, though, will make it a little red. This is not by Zine. This is called Lumify by Bausch & Lomb. So it's not a re-wetting drop or an allergy drop. It's an eye whitening drop. And I got it from my doctor. Although you can get it over the counter. And I just put one drop in each eye, and about 5 minutes, it'll start to whiten the whites of my eyes and brighten my iris, which is really nice. It just takes away the red, but then makes your eyes look like they have been upgraded to HD. So moving back to our waterline. It feels really uncomfortable, even for me. I've been doing this for a really long time, and I don't like doing the tight lining on the top or the secret liner, it's actually easier for me to do it on somebody else because I know how I can pop their lash bed up to really get in there fast and painlessly, but on myself, I can't do it because, well, it's on myself. Now with the liner on the waterline, like the eyeshadow liner we did, we're not going past the natural lash bed. So where the lashes stop, that's where I stop my eyeliner. I don't want to close off the corner too much. And speaking of that, let's go into Pool Floaty, which is a lighter. This is starting to get into the green area a little bit, so I'm not going to use too much of that, but I do like it. I just want to pop that into the inside corner of the eye. I like that. All right. I think that's everything that we're going to do with this palette for today. Let's see. I want to prep for lashes. So I'm going to sweep off the excess powder. I'm going to curl my lashes with my handy dandy MAC eyelash curler, a quick coat of the MAC Extended Play Giga Black Lash Mascara. Okay guys, just popped on my lashes, and I'm ready for lips. So I'm using Runway Rogue lip pencil, and this one is in Strut. It's a purple pencil, and then I'm going to use Runway Rogue's lipstick in After Party, which is also a really nice violety purple. So it's I don't think that it'll compete with the blue I did on my eyes because one's purple and one's blue, so I'm hoping that they'll complement each other. Plus, there's a lot of lightness on the inside corner of this eye look, so maybe having a darker lip will just kind of create like this triangle here where you've got the dark outside corner of the eyes, the dark lip, and then I'll be narrower through here and wider through here. Let's see how it works. Let's wrap everything up. I'm going to take a large powder brush and I'm just going to dust off this excess powder that I put down under my eyes because, as you can see, there's fallout from the eyeshadow and I don't want that to ruin my makeup. So going into Pinch Me with the blush brush and just dusting this onto the apple of the cheek and then working it back a little bit. MAC Extra Dimension Skin Finish in Double Gleam, and to apply that I'm using a fan brush. A little bit on the tip of the fan brush, and I just like to dust over the tip of the nose. Not too crazy. And then a little bit on the forehead, center of the forehead. I also did my brows while I was putting my lashes on. I'm sure you guys noticed that, so if you're wondering, it's not movie magic. Today's not a brow tutorial, so I just did the brows. But I will say I did use the Urban Decay Brow Blade in Neutral Nana to do that. And I will probably do just a brow video coming up here shortly. So I think this completes the look. What I'm going to do is, let's go ahead and pull these face tapes back. All right, so that pulls this back, this pulls this up. So these are working together to snatch the jaw. And then these, working with these pull up so it lifts the brows. And it just kind of, it takes away a few years and hyper-feminizes the face. So that's why I like that. We're going to finish everything off before I put my hair on with the MAC Prep and Prime Fix Plus Setting Spray. Lightly tapping that setting spray into the surface of the makeup. So what I'm going to do is pop on my Edge Saver, and this just helps to secure the wig and my hairnet and get some of those like flyaway hairs out of the way. And then I connect these guys together like this and use this as a band underneath rather than looping it through here, which never seems to really be tight enough. So let me just pop this on. And then let's change this up a little bit. Let's kind of smooth her out and create a little bit of a different look. So blue eyeshadow, I'm kind of feeling like a 70s, sort of like Studio 54 vibe. So this is very like 70s disco style. This is very like roller girl, Boogie Nights, I think. Maybe that's what I'll call this video. Which you will have seen when I do my cold opening. Yeah. To win the Morphe 35H Hotspot palette, what you have to do is please subscribe to my channel. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so you can get notified every time I upload a new video. And in the comments down below, tell me what decade of makeup is your favorite. 20s, 30s, 40s, disco era, today. And yeah, I think that's it. I'd like to see what you guys think, and then who knows, maybe I'll do a makeup inspired by that decade. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any comments, go ahead and leave those downstairs, and I will see you in my next video. Thanks, bye.